Here's my summary. You know, we do think that they're really specialized insects. There's about 35 species actually in Minnesota. We've only worked with Mendoti because it's really easy to work with. It's kind of like our white rat. You know, every scientist has their own white rat. I don't know. And we can encounter them regularly. We can collect them. We can manage them. We now know a lot about them. And the adults, you know, in terms of phenology, yes, it's specialized. Possibly 2 generations or maybe even 3 generations per year. They disappear in the summertime. We don't see them. We don't capture them. And they're relatively long-lived, and they can mate, fly, and lay eggs at air temperatures below 0. So this is pretty exciting if you're an entomologist. If you're a fly fishing person, what are some of the take-home messages? Match the hatch, okay, number 1. Number 2, there's probably in some of our streams in the southeast where they're really productive in terms of fast growth rates and high abundances of trout. They tend to be the most cold water tempered streams in the southeast, and those are the streams where we're getting 2 and 3 possible generations of these aquatic insects. So the big picture is that, you know, groundwater clearly can influence, at least we think, the abundances and growth rates of the trout. And some of the publications earlier on, I think, argued this more effectively than I am today. But there is that linkage between groundwater and the biology of these insects and the fish that you might catch. So, any questions about what I said?
Do you ever find Mendoti that are wingless?
I'm sorry, that are...
Do you ever find Mendoti that are wingless?
No, we don't. However, in the Rocky Mountains, there's another species, Dionysa leona, that is, and another scientist, colleague of mine who's now deceased, actually worked pretty extensively on leona. But basically what leona does is in low elevations and in the fall when it's emerging, it's fully winged, but generations through the winter, they emerge as wingless in the wintertime. And we have some egg mass estimates for them. And the winged form produces about 200 eggs per female oviposition. And the wingless form in midwinter about 800. So they're trading wings for eggs in terms of leona.
Yeah, I was just on that. I was collecting yesterday, and I found, probably for the first time, found a little wingless caddis. I got to say, it's
Philopotamic.
It's a nice picture of it. Yeah, and then I was catching tiny, what are called tiny winterflies. There's a stonefly, and the males in that thing have huge strength, but I've never seen anything but leona in the midgets anyway, the winter midgets that reduce strength.
We do find some crane flies in wintertime, the genus Kyanea, that are wingless and they're walking around on the snow, but their larvae are not living in the stream. The adults might, you know, if they get blown into the stream, they serve as food, but they're often walking around on the snow.
It's okay.
I was just going to ask if you find that the development of the individuals within each of those winter generations is really highly synchronous. They're all coming along at the same rate, or is there quite a bit of variability?
Yeah. Well, when we did the experiments with the chambers, they were fairly synchronized in terms of their emergences coming out of the chambers. If you think about a broader stretch of stream where you're going from areas where there's a lot of groundwater coming into where there's not, the thermal regimes are different, so over those longer stretches it's chaotic in terms of emergence. But at specific points, yes, it's pretty predictable. And we have been able to calculate the breed days to try to predict when they're emerging.
So you talked about the parthenogenic, potential parthenogenic. You ever done sex ratio on males and females in the population?
We have those data, yes. This year's kind of been an interesting one, so we started working in early December. December 8th was the first time that we encountered them in large numbers, and it was almost exclusively males on that day. But on the last two sample events, it's been about 50-50 male-female. But some other streams than the ones we're working in this year, like Trout Brook down around Cannon Falls, yeah, in midwinter, it's females by overrepresented, like 80% females sometimes.